All right, guys, we're going to learn about fire extinguishers. This is a learning experience by yours truly.
Do you want me to change sides?
All right, so we're going to go over data and statistics of house fires, purpose of a fire extinguisher, classifications and characteristics, types and identification, how to operate, when not to do it, and how to inspect them. Go ahead. Statistics. More than 1/4 of reported fires in 2015 and 2019 occurred in homes, and 3/4 of those, so billion deaths, were reported in 72% of them. Were all in, 72% of all deaths were in house fires. Good. The major causes of house fires are cooking, obviously, heating equipment, electrical distribution. Normally it's from daisy chaining, power bars, yeah. And arson, and then some kind of smoking. It's usually actually not cigarette. It's actually like meth or
Yeah, I was gonna say you forgot.
open flame.
Butane blowing up maybe.
Yep, and one of the number one causes that's not on there as rising is not cleaning out your vents for your dryer.
Dryer vents, okay.
Go ahead. Purpose of your fire extinguisher has two functions: to control and extinguish small or incipient stages of fire, which is the incipient stages where it ignites and then starts to grow, and to protect the evacuation route to get out of a room or down a hallway. It's actually to get out, not to put it out. So y'all heard of the fire triangle? You guys have all heard of the fire triangle. That is no longer a thing.
Okay.
It is now the fire tetrahedron, which think of it like a three-sided pyramid. And that consists of heat. There has to be heat in order for a fire to ignite. Air, oxygen, has to be present, and some sort of fuel, something to burn. So then the part that makes the tetrahedron is the chain reaction. So the chain reaction is actually the fuel gets hot enough that it actually turns into a gas. And that's a chemical reaction and the gas burns. So if you light a match and you look at it like close, you'll see an air gap in between it.
So it's a chemical reaction?
Yep, it's a chemical reaction. So what we need to do with an extinguisher is knock out any one of those. You have to have all four. Good. So these are where your fire extinguishers come into play. Everyone's heard of A, ABC, all that stuff. This is what they are. A is combustible stuff, normal fuel. I think of it as ash. A, ash, things that when you burn turn into ash. B, I think of boiling, that is liquids and flammable gases. C is current or circuit, electrical fires. D is metals. I don't have any fancy word for that one. But magnesium car engines, yes. Metal burns.
Would it be mixing the two chemicals together, or sometimes just the chemical by itself?
Usually by itself. You can mix, which we'll get into next. Good question. And then K for kitchen is for fats and oils. All right, so you want to make sure you have the right type of extinguisher, which we're going to get into next, like the A, B, C, D, K. Those are marked on the extinguisher itself. So, for safety reasons, just know what's around you. If you're walking through a nitroglycerin plant, or if you're at home on the couch, just be mindful that if your TV bursts into flames, the water's not going to put it out. There's 6 types of extinguishers. And if you look on the right here, these are the photos that's on each and every one of them. So the first one is A, which is what we covered, ash, so wood, paper, plastics. There's AB, which covers A and B, so wood, paper, liquids. B and C, wood, paper, liquids, and electricity. ABC is what you find in most places. When you get down to Class K and Class D, those are pretty specialized. If you work in a fancy machine shop, they'll have a Class D. You won't find one almost anywhere. Same with the Class K, that's going to be in your commercial kitchens. You won't have one at home.
There's no multi-purpose that covers all?
Yep. There's not. And the reason is, that's also an excellent question, we're gonna get into that. So the class A, this goes over that, so its agent is water. So remember, we have to take away one of those things of the triangle and the tetrahedron. Water does not drown it out like everybody thinks. It absorbs the heat from the fire. So the heat's gone, it's gone.
Oh.
So, yep, for that one, you need to be 75 feet or less. Those are typically silver. On the fire trucks, we refer to them as like the silver bullets. And just water, we actually put a little bit of Dawn in there, so when you spray it, it's soapy. Never on liquid fires, never metal fires. And most common metal fire you'll find outside of an actual like shop is Volkswagen engines are magnesium. We can't put those out. If you put water on it, it causes its own chemical reaction and it jacks up. Yep.
So no water on Volkswagen.
No water on engines or metal or electricity. If I have to explain that, it's a whole different thing.
Electrical cars and stuff like that?
Yeah, like if the computer lights up.
No.
So then the BC, you don't see a whole lot of, these are the ones with the big old cones on them, and they do carbon dioxide. Those are the ones that we, spray each other with. They don't have they come without a gauge because the gas can actually leak out the gauge, as opposed to water or a powder, those don't leak. Carbon dioxide comes out, which obviously takes away the oxygen, and those are going to be used 50 feet or less.
You say 50 feet or less, what is that?
How far from the fire? So if the fire is over there, I can't be 100 feet from it and try to get at it, but 50 feet's pretty.
No.
So it's the range of carbon dioxide.
Yes, exactly. If it's only used, if you use it on like a class A fire with ash, that's the carbon dioxide takes out the oxygen. So as soon as that goes away, it can actually kick back up. Which is why we don't use it on those.
What do they call it? Backlash? Wait, no. What's the movie?
Oh,
Backdraft? Not
backdraft.
Backdraft. A backdraft is when there's a smoldering fire that doesn't have oxygen, so it's just kind of they're dead, and when it's exposed to oxygen, it flashes up.
Flash
But
it
isn't
up.
that what you're doing? Taking oxygen away, and then when it comes back, it goes.
Well, that's why it can reignite, right?
Mhm.
If it dissipates, then it will come back to the.
Backdraft is actually
It's a
pressurized.
buildup, it's a buildup,
Right,
right?
it's not a rekindling.
Yeah, no. So
Um,
your ABC is what we have almost everywhere, which is good for,
When do we not use one, the BC one?
class A fires, they might reignite, and if you're in a really small, tiny space, like a crawl space, because if it takes oxygen from the fire, it also takes oxygen from you.
Okay.
No doubt.
Yes, thanks for that good question. So ABC has a pressure gauge, which you don't really need to know anything about that, except either it's in the green or it's in the red.
Okay.
I mean, it'll stay on there, how many PSI, but if it's not in the green,
It's go or no go?
it's gone, yep. It's an ammonium phosphate powder. And it's a fire retardant, so it actually separates, it covers the fuel. So if this is on fire, and this is the powder, it covers it so that the flame can't be on the actual fuel, if that makes sense.
What one back?
There you go. So that's how that one works. And that's good for everything except for metal and like oils and like kitchens.
Is this like the one that you find in the more?
Everywhere.
Everywhere.
Walmart
The ones
in the
on
aisles,
walls,
the
yeah.
ones that are here, the ones
Okay.
that you can buy for your house or your car, your boat, they're all
Okay.
gonna be on ABC.
And you have to be certified to inspect them?
To inspect them, yes.
Okay.
And that's, the only way that would actually be an issue is an inspection for like a public assembly place, like here.
Okay.
But for your home or they're not included in a fire in inspection.
Understood.
Class D, metal fires, we use sodium chloride, copper based retardant or agent. We don't even carry that. It's actually a specialized truck. Ours here is in Killeen, So if we had that here, we have to wait for cooling to get there. And it's for, the main things that ignite are in like a shop, metal powders, flakes, shadings, chips. Because mixed with the air, they actually become very combustible. They have a very low velocity nozzle. They almost pour out and not spray out. So most of them are actually like this. So if this is metal and on fire, you actually have it over and it falls out, as opposed to being back and it spraying.
Like a shower.
Yeah.
So getting that out of an engine wouldn't be easy.
You have to be at the end.
Oh, that's, okay.
Yeah.
No,
Exactly.
I'm gonna lose the car.
That K is the kitchen fire. These are most, you can kind of see it. They have a green label, always green. They're the only ones that are green. And like I said, they're only in commercial kitchens, and they're really kind of obsolete because in almost every state, if not every state, kitchens have to have the ample systems that are automatic. So, but these are there, and you can get them. They're about $300 if you want them for your home.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, they basically only work on fats,
So like grease fires?
and it cools it down.
Okay.
Yep.
Tools.
Cools. Yep.
Okay.
What is it? Baking soda works the
That
same?
was about to say that.
Baking soda works the same as that ABC powder because it separates the fuel from the
Okay.
flame. So salt, baking soda. My favorite thing is lid. Put on any lid and that cools
Smothers
the air.
it.
Yep. So if something catches on fire, go ahead. If there's a fire, step one is call the fire department.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of like when you're taught how to do CPR, the first thing that you do is tell someone to call 911. The second thing is make sure you have a clear, safe path, because if you don't have any way to take it out, then forget the fire, you know. You want to go, select the right type of extinguisher. Unless you're in a specialized place, ABC is going to be your most available and easy to use. Discharge. So this is where you learn, this is pretty universal. It's called pass, which is pull. Everything has a pin, like a grenade.
Sure.
It's actually easier to pull than a grenade. Aim at the fire, right? You're going to squeeze and sweep at the base.
Oh, yeah, squeeze and sweep.
Yep. The only thing that people really mess up on is when they panic, if they want to like spray the top of the flame, it actually goes over, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, it goes over. Back away from it, in case it kicks back up, and evacuate immediately. If you spray it and some freaking happens, it spreads, flares up, gets larger, call it quits, and bail.
I have one question.
Yeah.
Alright, I heard a myth, like, I don't know if it's a myth or if it's true, but like I heard most people that die in the fire, they will die from the inhalation of the smoke first
Gases,
before
yes.
the gases.
Absolutely
before.
do.
So on your evacuation plan, like try and stay away from the.
Stay low. So in a compartmentalized fire, like a room, there's typically 3 levels of heat and gas. So it could be 2,200 degrees up here,
Yeah.
it could be 1,000 up here, and then 80 down here. So the first fire that I was actually in, you know, in the burn building where it's controlled, they had us lay flat, take off our fire gloves and feel the concrete. And you could do that. If you went like that,
Toast.
you're done. But the gases will always rise, which is why you stay low. So when it's safe to fight a fire, is the fire too big? So we talked about the incipient phase, which is where it lights up. That's where you would like blow on it if you're starting a fire. Once it starts to spread quickly, we are past that and just bail. Is the air safe to breathe? So you just brought up. Is it burning a chemical and purple smoke is coming up and you can feel it on your skin? Don't. Just go. Yep. And then the other one that often gets overlooked is people who possibly maybe can or help others get out, but you want to make sure that your back is to the exit, and that way if it grows, if it spreads, if something pops open, you know, a bottle of, I don't know, cream, you know, stood up and it goes everywhere, you have to be able to get to a door. So if the fire's here, I'm not going to fight it from over here, I'm going to fight it from where Christian follower. So here's your pass, right? See, there's a little guy doing it. You have to, we pull the pin, aim at the fire, squeeze the handle, and sweep back and forth, and then go. These are the inspections. Again, you have to inspect. They've got tags on for
Dates and stuff.
public buildings, and they have those because buildings like this are called civil buildings, or people civil. They have to have registered fire evacuation plans with the county and the state, and so that's why they did an actual inspection. But for your home, you can see here, number, green is good, red is bad. It's that easy. It's bad. I know a lot of fire departments in Texas, you can take one that's either been used or is bad to almost any fire station, and we'll exchange them for free. Same with smoke detectors.
They just refill those to make them green here, right? They
Yeah.
don't check them.
Yep.
Unless they're damaged.
Damage,
Yeah.
of course.
Which is next? Boom. Corrosion is big, that's old as hell. Mechanical damage did cracks on the pressure screen, damaged threads if they have threads. The hanger attachment is what hangs on the actual wall. That's more for public places, that's where everybody goes, and if it's broken, you have it somewhere else. You're out of luck. And the handle lug is the lugs that you can squeeze.
Oh, okay.
So you're just going to look at it. This is an example of one that's inspected when it gets refilled. Again, that applies mostly to assemblies and public buildings. This is the nozzle or the horn. That's the one with the CO2, is that big horn. I forgot to also mention, if you have to spray a Class B CO2, never hold the horn, because it comes out at negative 35 degrees.
Yeah.
So, but if the horn is cracked, or if the nozzle cracked, exchange it.
What degrees does it come out?
It's negative 35.
Oh,
I think.
okay. That's the one they do in the movies where they
Don't
The
quote me.
Terminator thing?
Yeah.
Yeah. trimmers whenever the heat
Freeze
little
the arm,
seekers.
My favorite is they'll spray it on a lot.
And
You're like,
Oh,
boom.
good. No, that's not. It's not dry. It's not liquid nitrogen.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then we've got
Do you have any we can play with?
I tried actually. I actually tried. Hydrostatic testing, is just so, when they get put into, when they're built, they actually, put it under water and pressurize it with air, and that's how they determine if it's got any cracks or leaks or damage. We don't do that. Alright, go ahead. Alright, make sure the gauges aren't jammed or cracked. If they're dented in, crystallized, or cracked, like I said, bring to any fire station.
Swap.
We have a room about half the size, with probably 500 of them. I mean, it's just as easy as here. We give it to everybody. Like that. So, in closing, fires are dangerous and they can kill you.
Cool.
Number one.
Know what is burning and what extinguisher to grab and put it out with. 3, pass. 4, know when to not attempt to extinguish it and get out. And 5, make sure your extinguishers are operational.
Okay.
Thank you guys for sitting through that.
No problem.
Thank you.
Thank you for that class.